brilliant, but his rage turns him into the pharaoh.
Which is,
Yeah.
probably.
Honestly, I never thought I'd be asked that
Okay.
question in my
I got
whole
you.
life. What class is Yugimoto? All right. Can we all get into roll 20?
I'm trying.
Yeah, I gotta. I'm gonna turn off my camera because I don't trust it enough.
Yeah, fair
I
enough.
think-
Actually,
Like, I'm getting.
Guys, I gotta tell you- when I got my roller skates today, almost fell on my head. Can't lie. Who laughed at that?
Sorry.
I know, rude.
Hey, you're talking to the guy who's, like, literally got calluses on his knees from the amount of times he's fallen off of a tricycle.
Yeah, that's not. See, if you had told me you had calluses on your knees, my first thought would not have been falling off a tricycle.
Well, of course, because you're 20. Because you're 20 and a sicko.
No, listen, I would have thought the same thing.
You're 22. What the fuck do you mean you're 20 and a sicko? Like, I can say huge gap.
Listen,
Oh
I
my
would have
God, I
thought.
feel so old. Please.
No, I would have thought the same thing.
Thank you so much, Ron.
Well, we're all adults here.
Yeah, you're not 45, Isaiah. Jesus.
Okay, everybody's like talking at the same time.
Team three.
I cannot.
Okay, so the other was I found this website that basically has a bunch of tests you can do for like mental health. So like, I'm gonna go through do some as a joke. So they had one for adult ADHD, and apparently I'm high risk. I was like,
Oh,
great.
Who is
That
that?
explains.
Well,
Who is that?
I mean, I assumed you were high risk to begin with, but not because of that.
Oh, because of what then?
Sick burn.
Hey.
I just kind of assumed all your ex-boyfriends called you the crazy.
Oh.
Wow.
I'm
I
kidding
agree, though.
mostly. Please don't murder me.
By the way, whoever put the giant black bar over the whoever did this, thanks.
I can't see anything else.
What?
What?
I can't.
Black
I'm
bar
lost.
over what?
Well,
I'm
I
lost.
can't see anything except for this one stretch of hall. Oh my god, who did that?
Wait, are you guys in rule 20? Rule 20? hang on.
All right, I'll show you on the recording later. But basically, somebody decided to scribble nothing but black over this whole room. All right, are we ready? Oh dear God, a tapeworm! No.
Oh shit! It's my stomach work.
Oh no! Stay away from my
I got it.
organ.
Stay away from my anus.
I mean, you didn't have to tell me twice. Okay, so let's try to keep this to let's try to see if we can have this done before 10:30 tonight,
All right. Sounds about right.
so that Michaela doesn't Michaela doesn't drop dead from exhaustion.
Michaela's been killing me. All right. Recap.
Okay.
Let's go.
So,
Discord just hates me.
oh dear, Jesus. Hang on. Okay, so when last we left off, Fifth Company had gotten back from, investigating a tower that they would come to know as the Shattered Needle, depositing their riches from plundering the tower, and testing out a potential new member of their party, an Arakocra warrior by the name of Zali. And after a fairly tense bit of PvP, the whole party absconded to the bar for the remainder of the evening in order to drink their sorrows away and raise a glass to their fallen friend Zarmorn. The morning came. Some people lost money. Other people got a shitload of it. And some people were responsible drunks, looking at you, Bram. And speaking of which, where is he? Oh, well. We'll figure that out. And it was at this time, early in the day, that Torm, the leader of the Crimson Drakes' first company, kind of barged into the bar and basically asked you guys, what the hell were you thinking not checking the basement of this place? Which none of you guys knew that there was a history to this tower. You just kind of came across it in the woods and... okay. Didn't ask questions, but you eventually discovered through Torm that this indeed was a part of an old system of fortifications that ran through this part of the land before Brooksfort even was a hut. And with that information, you guys readied up. You managed to convince Zali to assist you and conscript Arthur to help you guys. Before heading back to the tower, paying your respects at Zarmorn's grave, and going into the treasure vault section of the tower that you had cleared out earlier, before finding a hidden entryway into the dungeon below. You entered the dungeon into the first room. I believe Dave almost fell into a pit trap before Elin decided to try and scout ahead in spider form while everybody hung back. But while she was going through a variety of different rooms, seeing gnolls and the remains of smithies and workshops and all sorts of other things in this dank cobblestone cavern, Dave and Zali and Bram discovered a secret entranceway in the main foyer, which led them to a small room guarded by 2 goblins and a gnoll, and full of magic items. And the party basically cleared that out, went through a hallway to the south, entered what appeared to be a former barracks of some kind, fought a necrotic mushroom with tentacles, entered the adjacent hallway, battled some kobolds and what must have been a cockatrice, before chasing down a blue dragon wormling by the name of Yohak. After a tense initial engagement, and after Zali and Dave were both knocked flat on their asses by the wormling's dragon breath, the wormling insisted that the party leave it alone before retreating into what looks like used to be a bathhouse, whereupon Mordecai approached it, and through some expert diplomacy, convinced the dragon to withhold its aggression and the party to do the same long enough for both parties to get what they wanted out of the arrangement. And after that, the party decided to settle into the bathhouse for a long rest. So, it's been 8 hours. Casters, you better have your spells prepared from this point on. Everybody has basically all their hit points and all their hit dice back from the previous session. And you all wake up in the bathhouse with the remains of the small campfire that you made from the wooden splinters of the former bathtubs, barely crackling and burning, with Yohak curled up next to it and a pile of gleaming bones and picked clean of meat and organs because he dragged a kobold in to eat while you guys were resting.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Well, how many spells did I prepare again? 4 or 6?
It was, I think, 3 or 4 initially, but since you put on that headband of intellect, your intelligence is 19, which means you have, I think you can prepare about 6 of them.
I have another question.
Wow.
What
Now you
happens?
gotta-
What happens if I put my headband on my owl?
What?
Just curious. What the fuck would happen if I put my headband on my? Because familiars can't use magic. Last time.
They cannot activate magic items. A passive magic item like that, it could be put on it, but
What would happen?
I mean, they would get an intelligence of 19.
Would it be like that one meme where the girl puts a flower on the cat and the cat sees the universe flow right through his eyes? Would it be like that?
Essentially, yeah. The prophecy is true. Dun, 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 dun.
Okay, that.
Yeah.
Okay, that.
Yeah.
I would also like to remind you that your owl hunter
Yeah.
is fucking dead.
Oh, did we bring him back?
You can knock 10 gold out of the coinage that you got to bring him back.
I have 19 gold points, so I can.
So if you give up 10 of them and say you had the components to do the ritual again just in case, then I'll bring your owl back.
I'm doing it. I have now 9 gold.
You are officially poor.
I was already poor. Now I'm poor. I'm sad poor now. I'm the guy that poor make fun of now. Okay, so if I did do the whole put the head back on the owl, would that mean the owl is now telling me what to do?
Not explicitly, no, but it would be interesting.
Could I ask the owl what I should do next? He's like, you idiot, you be doing this, you dumbass.
Here's the thing, it requires attunements. You can either have a really intelligent familiar with 1 hit point, or you can have 6 spells prepared.
Fair enough. I'm just keeping on myself for now. But I might do it later in the journey.
Alright. Mordecai, you wake up after the long rest, and it was about noon when you guys, I guess when you guys decided to take this rest. So it's probably about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the evening at this point in time. As you wake up, Mordecai, the badger that you summoned is still there, just kind of curled up with you.
Wait, I thought it was a
Okay,
ferret.
well, I guess the day's not over yet.
No, ferret. You're right. Ferret.
Weasel.
Weasel.
You guys suck at memory.
Itachi.
Shut up.
Itachi, why are you bringing fucking
Because that's what his name means, Weasel.
ass brother?
So, casters, send me the spells that you've prepared in a private message.
All right, it's
If I remember correctly, you can prepare a number of spells equal to your caster level plus your spell casting stat modifier.
If I find another wizard, can I steal his book?
You can, but basically the way every spellbook works, and reflecting on with your new headband of intellect, reflecting on your previous circumstances in the university, you come to recognize some things you didn't realize before. You remember that every single spellbook is kind of written in a pseudo script, like a cipher unique to each wizard. So you'd have to spend some time decrypting another wizard's spellbook.
That's bullshit.
Well, spells are kind of a personal thing.
Well,
So-
don't worry, I have the wizard. It's fine.
Yeah, you have the intelligence for it now. So everybody wakes up.
All right, send you the
Killer.
yeah.
Dave wakes up with a British accent.
Dave wakes up with a British accent. Jolly good fellow, Charles. It is I, Dave.
Oh god.
Then we realize that the headband has a side effect. It makes anybody wearing it really fucking British.
All right, mate. How doodly doo.
Wait, hold
Gotta
up.
take it off right now.
That's not right.
Here we go. What happened today?
So,
Sri Lanka.
oh dear.
Sorry.
All right, don't kill yourself before you finish the dungeon, man.
What's happening? Is he gonna...
No, he's
Hello,
just.
chap. What are we doing today?
Hello.
Is this a thing? Does Dave actually have a British accent now?
Why not, dear old chap? You're the one that suggested it. Not you. From the beginning.
I am so...
Next to the smoldering embers of the fire, Yohak is staring at the suddenly very posh tiefling, and he looks over at you, Mordecai, and says, "Is he going to be like this for the rest of the journey?"
Just smack him in the back of the head. Maybe I'll knock some sense into him. Knock him back.
Remove the helmet.
Mordecai, smack him.
I was
Remove the evil.
my British man.
Smack him yourself, you lazy bitch.
You're a dino.
Exactly.
I will stab your shin.
Honestly, this is an improvement. Trust me, this is an improvement.
I
You-
will keep you the queen.
Mordecai, and I guess Dave as well, because they're nearby, and I guess Zali too, because they're all close enough. At the mention of smacking Mordecai in the back of the head, you see Yohak's tail just kind of shift in your direction slowly. It's like a cat, just kind of like sweeping his tail across the ground behind him. But the thought is there.
Hey, dear old dragon, I am very sorry for the way I acted previously. My rather feeble minded ancient awakening is made me realize some things, and I truly am very sorry. And then Dave proceeds to bow in a very elegant and British way.
Apology accepted for now.
Well, I made him smarter,
What?
but he's no less charming than he used to be.
Quite.
Almost dies.
Pardon, no more.
Then, if we are
Anyway.
all ready.
I'm going to relight my lantern
Uh-huh.
and let's begin.
Okay, stepping out into the hallway, Arthur actually stands up and slowly, just kind of quietly opens the door. There is a bit of a creak. Peers out into the hallway and says, "All right, we're good. Let's go." And he steps out.
Right, I am going, guys. I am coming with you.
Oh, well,
I
that's
have
good.
superior-
Yeah, but you're not gonna stay behind and play patty cake with your...
Kid, it's dead.
By the way, wait. Didn't I summon a familiar? I literally spent 10.
Okay,
gold.
hang on. Let me get the owl token then.
Where did my money go?
Okay, I do have a question.
The DM stole my money.
If I pay you $5, how many gold does that get me?
None.
You want to convert real life money into
We're not driving the game.
D&D gold? Great.
It's like what microtransactions.
The only microtransactions I accept are your blood, sweat, and tears.
Good.
So you want us to donate blood?
Alright, so okay.
So,
So yeah, how it is. Bob the Owl. Hello, dear Bob Chuck. How has it been?
Did you somehow think he was going to talk to you? He's an owl.
Yeah, I know that, dipshit. I was simply saying hello as a gorgeous thing. Do you have no heart?
actually, since he's a familiar, you can kind of communicate with him telepathically. So Bob essentially responds, "I've been having quite a jolly good time. Thank you very much. Terrible problem with dying and lightning and all that."
Ah, yes, it is a common problem in these parts.
Yes, indeed. I do hope I can avoid such nastiness in the future. Hoo-hoo.
I will do my best.
I hate this. I fucking hate this. So
He just goes, "No fucking no way. No fucking explanation." It hurts me. It hurts me.
You're hurt. Oh no.
By the way,
Oh, I can move this guy too.
yeah.
Yeah,
Did you see the name I gave him?
I did not.
What'd you give him?
Lift him
I
up.
can't see a name.
I can't see that either. What'd you give him?
I'm waiting for somebody to see it.
Come on, somebody tell me what it is. No one.
Wheezy! The weasel's name is Wheezy.
We do the wizard. What?
He's the weasel.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Well,
I fucking get it.
Close
I
it.
fucking get it.
Dude, that's we think that's my favorite Pokemon.
All right. So going out into the hallway with Arthur's lamp. Is anybody else lighting up a light source of any kind?
Zarmon will light up a torch.
I'll do produce flame.
All right.
Turn.
Zali had a torch as well.
Flame? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
The chat flame.
Oh, you both stolen the torch. You know, today is the day that Roll20 is not fucking like gonna kill my computer, which is kind of funny and also kind of sad. It's like, oh, the day we're like doing a short stream. It's like, I'm gonna for once.
All right.
I'm glad yours is working. Mine keeps freezing.
Oh, well, I'm sorry.
You passed it on me. Take it back.
Michaela, did you have to call it Killer Dum Dum? Did you?
Jesus Christ. Hold it together, guys.
What do you
Say yes.
It's not me, it's him.
Oh, if you guys will remember, the pathway outside of the room branches to the north and the south. To the south, at the kind of edge of your light, you see it round a corner to the west. To the north, it splits off into another T-junction. If you remember correctly, right of this T-junction up here to the north is where you came from.
Okay. Alright, Chuck, what are our decisions in the direction?
Well, as we agreed with Yohak, we're going to place
Yes. Wait.
with extreme impunity.
By chance, should we split off into teams of 2? Or just go as one group, slaughtering all of
No, there's 7 of us. The numbers don't add up.
Good point.
Send Dave by himself.
I mean, wow, real?
And what if
You got your bird. You're okay.
one of the first rules
I almost
dungeon. One of the first rules. If you're in a dungeon, you do not split.
sounds reasonable.
This is Mercenary 101.
Understood. Dave will remember.
Zarya kind of flinches by the fact that Mordecai just called like us mercenaries. He kind of like said to himself, I never considered myself a mercenary before.
Dear chap, let me just say this right up front.
Yeah, I didn't say that out loud.
All right.
I said he thought them.
So what direction are you guys going? North or south?
By the way.
I want to stay south. I don't know.
Okay. I'm gonna go north because that's where we were a second ago.
Oh, well, north it is.
All right.
I know he's flaky.
Mordecai, you're heading north, and your little weasel friend is following in
Oh, shit,
behind
the
you.
window is black.
My little Wheezy.
Your little Wheezy.
I'm going after Weezy. And it's easy.
All right.
I'm gonna peer around these.
Move my hair
I'm gonna
down
just
recently.
peer around these here corners.
All
Why are
right.
you on top of me?
You can see over. You can see more towards this corner that about 30
I
feet
can't
down.
see a damn thing. 1 second.
You have Wheezy. Wheezy.
There's no light. I can't see anything.
Here.
Nani?
Wheezy small.
Oh, now somebody needs to get out of the door.
You've got a massive torch on you. The fuck?
Yeah, I know, but I'm telling you what I.
Move your-
Oh, there it
move
is.
your camera focus a little bit. There you go.
All right. You can see off to the west, about 30 feet down the passage. It opens up into a room. Make a perception test.
Me? All
Yes.
right. What, little of me? A perception test, but yeah, 15.
You can faintly hear the rushing of wind down the tunnel to the west.
It's magical wind.
Elin, you mentioned some sort of wind enchantment.
I'm taking it was. All I remember was a big gust of wind, and there I went.
Oh yes.
Well, we're underground, so it'd have to be either magic, a very well placed vent in the wall. Why is it put so far back?
Oh, I sent Bob out to scout around, I suppose.
All right, Bob makes it over here, and he can just barely see the sort of toes of the dead cockatrice over here.
That's what I think.
Zoldy kind of turns to Mordecai. The underground, I do not believe there might be. There may be an entrance or an exit somewhere close by if there's wind.
So Bob flies to the intersection. Does he go right or left, according
He
to?
goes left.
All right, he flies in this direction, and are you? I take it you're tapping into his senses.
Of course. How else am I doing what he's
All right.
doing?
So as he flies in this direction, the sound of rushing wind grows louder and louder, and as he makes it into this area over here, as you can see, it opens up into a room with several other entrances. One is to your immediate right, another one is 40 feet away and branching off to the right as well. The other one is on the far left side of the room in the middle of the wall going to the south. But as things are right here and now, the room that you're in kind of looks like a large waiting area with a great deal of stone benches. You're seeing this in dark vision. You're seeing this in dark vision is the thing, so it's all black and white and kind of fuzzy. And as you approach this room, the sound of roaring wind grows louder and louder. And do you want Bob to? Where do you want to move Bob from this point?
I want to Bob towards the south, I believe. The south entrance, hallway, pathway.
All right, Bob makes it here, and he needs to make an acrobatics check.
Oh dear lord, that doesn't sound good for me because I have that.
That doesn't sound to make sense.
The irony of that
There's
being,
nothing funny about it.
I am the literal embodiment of something I do not believe
I,
in. Acrobatics. What the fuck is acrobatics? Where are you?
I got a funny thought.
I doubt he's trained in it. Just roll for his and add his
Yeah, plus
dexterity
one.
modifier. +1
Yeah,
acrobatics.
fuck
Okay.
acrobatics. Okay, let me just. What do I roll? D20?
D20 plus acrobatics.
I'd like to search the body. Okay, no acrobatics.
Right.
What?
All right. Suddenly, tapping into his Bob's senses, you feel the calm grace of an avian creature in its natural territory flying over the ground. And then as it flies into this area where it can hear the roaring winds, you suddenly feel a loss of physical control as you, Bob, Dave seeing through Bob more specifically, suddenly feels a gust of wind rip into your wings.
Oh dear
And
lord.
suddenly you lose control of flight and are carried. Let's see what direction. Let's see what direction you're thrown in. Actually,
You die. Really?
He did.
Man, god damn it, Bob. I wasted 10 gold on you for fuck's sake.
whack!
Killer, you're the one with sending the owl to his death, okay?
I did not realize
Yeah, you're a horrible buddy.
a circle of wind and magical bullshit.
I told you magical wind. I told you I won't lose.
I told you.
Yo,
I told you.
Bitch, I told you.
Michaela just go southern.
I told you there's wind in them thar hills.
Okay.
You.
Listen here,
God
partner.
damn it.
The hell are
Listen
you
here.
talking
I
about?
told you, and you did not listen. That is your own problem.
Bob is slammed against the wall and is stunned, falling onto one of the benches. And now you're basically getting the empathic signal from Bob that I don't want to fly here. Jolly good chap, I understand that we gave those Germans what for during the war, but I really don't think I should take to my wings in this room.
Yes, that's a very good plan. I suggest you head
Do it
back.
anyways.
Head out as much as you can. Do not pursue any further, the old chap. I do not
All right.
wish to wish you out.
Then you basically get a a literal bird's eye view of Bob hopping off the bench and coming back down the hallway.
Just so we and anybody listening are clear, Dave is now much smarter than he was before.
Yes, because he's attuned to headband.
Him being this smart, him being much smarter, isn't what changed his voice. He's just doing that because he thinks
That's the 10 wisdom at work, isn't it? All right.
Charisma.
While Dave has been doing that, what have the rest of you been doing? Let's go in alphabetical order. Bram.
What does that mean? Oh,
Ah.
wait, how the fuck would that work? A, D, wait, D comes after.
I'm sure he has that written down somewhere.
Wait,
I am offended on the fact.
No, I'm just trying to get a handle on what everybody's been doing while Dave has been scouting with Bob. So, Bram, what are you doing in the back over there?
I want to head down
All right, to the corner.
to down here. Yeah.
All right.
I'm assuming that's the.
Yeah, and as you round the corner, you feel your dark vision kick in as you're not carrying any light with you, really. And you see the passage extends another 30 feet down technically, before it turns to the right. And you can see that it seems to turn into another passage of some kind.
Could use a little help here.
All right.
Sully will join him.
Is anybody going to join me?
Sully will
Well,
join? Okay.
Arthur holds his hand up and says, I'll be with them. It's all right.
I just imagine Bram just stops and just shouts, "Could use some help here!"
I'm scared of the dark.
All right.
Sully will also pull out his bow and just have it ready.
All right. Damn, that's really no good.
What?
No, it's just now Yohawk is basically looking between the two groups and is he's wondering to himself which one he hates the least, Zali or Dave.
I mean, probably Dave, because they actually managed to shoot them.
Hey, at the very least, I did not kill him. I did not hurt him, for Christ's sake. God save the Queen!
Killer, shut up.
I mean, all right. So Yohawk, well, all right. Odds he goes with Dave's. Odds he goes with Dave. Even he goes with Zali.
Looking for chap.
It's even. So every single sack of hit points on the team is heading south.
God damn it. Well,
All the casters are heading north.
Depends on where Elin goes.
What do you
You
mean?
know what? I think I'll go north just to make this entertaining.
I'm a caster.
No, guys, how about this? We all go south and just leave Dave by himself.
That's what I said to begin with.
So, Elin, you're heading north?
Yeah, with the
This
casters.
is the party playing an assassination attempt. We gotta kill Dave off, guys.
Turns out we're all doppelgangers, and he's the
Oh,
only human. He's still a PC. We're all monsters.
Guys, turns out that Zali is actually Zarmorn in a bird suit.
oh my god.
I mean, the dinosaurs are the dinosaurs only remain descendant is the chicken.
Chickens are technically dinosaurs in bird.
Oh my god. He's a great blue heron.
All right, so I guess let's call. If you guys are actually agreeing to this division, then I guess we can call it Group 1 and Group 2.
All right, group
Which one's group 1?
We'll say group 1 is going north and group 2 is going south. So, group 1, what are you doing?
Whoa, why did they get to be group 1? We're the
Because
number,
we have the
number
magic,
1.
bitch.
Because you guys have
Yeah,
2 flyers.
Literally.
To be clear, we have the magic, comma, bitch, not we have the magic. Referring to Elon.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm like, literally.
I'm literally right here, you jackass. All right, so are you guys moving out into the hallway then?
Yes. Ditto. On Z.
Day first.
All right, Dave with Bob on his shoulder moves out into the hallway. Are you heading towards the wind room?
I'm gonna go to the washroom.
Wheezy. Needed wheezy.
I was afraid, I was petrified.
All right, let's call the teams A and B. A for animal lovers and B for beat sticks.
I like
Works for
that.
me.
Yo, why did they get to be the A team?
They're the A team because they're the animal lover team. One of them is Bob.
So you got Bob, you got Wheezy, and I can just shapeshift.
Yeah. Elin is her own best friend.
I don't need nobody else.
You
You won't wonder why I only heal myself sometimes.
What? What happened, guys?
Nothing. I just decided the teams were A and B. A for animal lovers and B for beat stick.
Animal lovey.
Because you got 3 tanks on the bottom. So Team A moves out into the hallway, and I take it you move towards the wind room.
Well, I mean, I can't do this about the wind room. Unless all of you are potent in wind. Any of you Wendigo.
Don't look at me.
So it's Mordecai in front, Bob in the middle, and Elin at the back.
Yeah, I guess so.
Mordecai, are you okay with this?
You know what?
I mean,
These
I
two are the
can-
squishies. I can handle.
I
She
can get
know all of
it's I
that.
can get in the front if you want. You know,
Yeah, I'll be
it's
fine.
like Bob sometimes.
Actually, I think her being in the front is a good idea, given that she's pretty much an arrow magnet.
Yeah.
Elf of arrow catching.
Yo,
Alright.
okay, can I tie a
By all
to
means,
my
take the lead.
shield?
Ladies first. It's even funny if you look at Mordecai's icon.
Ah,
Ladies first.
and then the moment you say that, I just like Bob and Dave go first.
Ladies first.
You're welcome, Jeff.
All right. All right. So
Mordecai, ladies
is Bob-
first. Elin, age before beauty. You're an elf.
I guess I'm first either way.
How does that work? 8 what?
Because Elin is older than all of you and still beautiful. Okay. Fucking moving on.
right.
So is
Okay.
Bob going first? And
Elves.
so what's the marching order?
Then whatever the f- this is.
There's no way we're gonna finish in 2 hours.
Okay. I have the light, and these two are retarded, so I'm going for.
You're retarded. What the fuck is Bob doing? What the fuck? Bob, stop! Stop, Bob! Okay,
God,
Why is Wheezy? Okay, who is trying to move?
not me.
Let me move Wheezy. instead.
All right, that's me. Sorry.
My screen keeps freezing. I don't know what's going
Freezy.
All right. So as you guys are walking down this hallway together, it's really easy to hear Wheezy. But no, not only that, but it's really easy to hear the sound of rushing wind in this room over here. And as you enter it, you all see basically the same thing that Bob saw, only in color. The room itself, there's an omnipresent sound of churning wind, like there's a whirlwind in here, and you can just very faintly see dust and what few bits of grit that haven't been cast out of the room swirling about on the floor, almost in a vortex, kind of in the center over here. Bob, there are benches lining the walls of the room, stone benches that you can see have kind of been worn down with the wind, and everybody within, that would be Bob and Mordecai, make a perception test.
I got an 8 this.
I got 18 perception, the old chap.
Okay, well, despite his lower DC, Mordecai fails, and despite his higher DC, Bob succeeds. Mordecai, you're looking into the room, and aside from the worn down benches and the omnipresent rushing wind, you have no damn clue what's going on here. Bob, at the center of this sort of miniature cyclone in the center of the room, which it's transparent, but you can still faintly see things being kicked up in the center. You see, scribed on the ground are some letters.
Wait.
And you have been in too many teachers' offices to not know what that is.
And not for the reasons you think.
Yeah?
To be clear, I want to have the lantern on my belt.
Mm-hmm.
And my dagger's out, so I'm ready to stab or throw them.
All right, you can do that. The lantern's hanging off your belt, and you close it as best as you can because you can kind of feel the wind whipping in here, and Mordecai's probably worried about losing that light.
Can the others see in the dark?
Yes.
Yes. It's just you, chap. You're the one that's handy.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Okay.
I got produce flame. We're good.
Elin, you can see the flame in your hand is starting to flicker as you approach the threshold of the room, and you can just kind of feel the wind. You can feel the wind starting to pull at you, and the flame just kind of bending towards where this wind is going. So...
Well, Elf Dog, is this the magic wind you speak of?
I think.
I think. Aren't you an expert on magic wind or something? Windology, as they call it, I believe.
Meteorology.
Whatever, same thing. Fucking Bram from the other side. Same thing!
19 intelligence, and Bram is still correcting you.
he's on the other side of the room, he's like, same thing! It's like, what are you talking to? Go. He has made a logical guess.
Why is Bram the smartest character in that team?
What kind of barbarian are you, Bram?
Not one by choice.
Alternate reality, Bram is an accountant.
All right, so what are you guys doing at the threshold of the wind room?
Alright,
I say we throw Dave.
Wait, Bram's a barbarian, right?
I want to try and just glance at try to spot the source of the immense wind.
You've spotted it. You think it's that circle of runes in the center of the room.
Oh.
Even with the torchlight, you can just faintly make out the glowing blue circle of runes right here, smack dab in the middle of the room.
Alright. Dave turns to Mordecai and goes, "Alright, magic man, you have an in-depth view of and you can make out what the hell is causing that what the hell that root stuff is and how we might and any potential ways how we might be able to get past it."
He's alerting me to the presence of the runes. Yeah.
Yes. So you kind of step forward, what the fuck are you talking about? Oh shit! There's a circle of runes right here.
Yeah. That's a circle of runes, all right.
Yeah, no shit.
It's like circles. Got some. Most other circles are stationary effects, or they're triggered. So this is a little new to me. But can I make out the runes from here? Can I tell what it is exactly?
Roll an Arcana test roll a perception test.
A perception test?
Yes.
Oh, my Arcana test?
One, please.
17.
Okay, good.
Okay, you can roll an Arcana test not at disadvantage, because you can actually see the runes from here.
Another 17, but with
Alright. Then, from here, you can just barely see some of the runes. Some of the more elementary runes include warding, wind, and displacement. And it occurs to you, whirlwind, bird got blown around, makes sense. You suspect that the runic circle at the center of the room is the reason for the wind in the room.
No fucking shit. Okay, it looks like that much. Using it to keep from crossing this room.
I see.
That's my best guess.
So if you were yes?
I think if we disrupted it with something damaging, if we damage the circle somehow from a distance, or have someone fight their way through and smash it, that should just take it out.
Question: Would a single match be enough to do it?
You have to be pretty precise with a single shot, but
Did you say magic missile?
Yes.
I'm fairly certain that has to target a creature.
Damn it. Okay. What else do I have?
that seems like rules as written, my guy.
Uh,
Technically, all attacks have to target a creature.
you're a creature.
This is true. As are you.
Everybody's a creature. Okay.
I do like anime. Yes, I do. Hentai.
All right. Dave turns to address everybody. All right. Yes. So our options seem to be if any one of us has a breaking or destroy circle with pure force or unbelievable durability, then we should consider doing it. If not, well, I mean, I'm pretty sure the rune can't stop us from taking the nearest hallway. Which is that one up there.
If
Right.
my mental map of this place is correct, I think that hallway just goes back to the.
God damn it. I guess we have no choice but to deal with if only we had a tank on our team, you could just power through like some sort of like a stroll through the thicker woods.
Dave, you don't have any anti-magic.
No, I'm afraid I don't.
Not particularly trained in dispelling anything. Damn.
No,
If
but I am aware of it.
Mordecai, with the 17 Arcana, you also know that specifically having a spell to dispel magic is third circle magic, basically.
Third circle magic, third circle
Third
magic,
level in game terms, but trying to keep things flavorful.
circle magic, goddess of
Yeah.
magic.
Yeah, it's pretty high tier.
See, I wonder
But
if
that's not really. It's moderate, but it's.
you think Burning
what they
Hand would be able to overpower the goddamn wind? Stupid idea, but
I don't think any of us have particularly the.
yeah, I don't think any like. Do you have anything that can overpower wind?
Okay, guys.
Yeah.
How about we have the B team also show up and do something?
All right, yeah, this is kind of taking a little while.
Do you have a bow?
I do
Isn't
have
it-
a bow.
Do you have a bow?
Do you think if you could
You,
break the circle?
you think
I
you
can
could
try
fire?
my best.
All right, everyone, out of the way.
Roll initiative.
You are
So
the least
what's-
confident elf I've ever met.
So,
Listen, we've seen the way my bow skills.
Yes. Well, I mean, come on. Have some hope in yourself. Come on.
I hope that I don't hit myself.
You can't. How the hell would you hit? Have you actually hit yourself with your own? Don't ask that question. Don't ask that question.
all right, so Elin, you're knocking an arrow and trying to hit the magic circle.
I guess so.
Roll an attack test.
All about the magic, sir. Miss Ewan. God damn it, spirit body. Okay. Yo, how-
19.
All right, you hit dead on. One moment.
And the arrow combusts into flame and burns into the snake. And then
Elin. Oh wait, roll. Sorry, roll again because you're at disadvantage because of the wind.
Oh,
Oh, right.
oh no, oh no. Come on, you can do it. Come on. I'm the bad luck sponge. Come on, you can do this.
Come on.
All right, so
Alright,
you're taking the 19.
No bad option there.
So, wow, okay. Despite the wind, Elin manages to knock an arrow and fire it and angle it just right so that it powers through the wind and it scratches against the circle. There's this small crackle of blue arcane energy, and the wind doesn't seem to fade.
Damn.
Damn it.
I figured that would work.
Well, on the plus side, Elin, at the very least, I hope those.
Mordecai, roll another Arcana test. And Elin, are you trained in Arcana?
Oh,
What's that, Mordecai?
Actually, wait, I
Total
have
of
plus
20.
one in our...
Mordecai, you recall that magic circles like these, it's not enough to just like hit them from a distance. Scratching them out is a very deliberate task that requires you to be right there, breaking the circuit.
God.
Just trying to, like, maybe for some really weak enchantments, nicking the source with an arrow could work, but short of breaking the stone that the runes are carved into, or just, like, scratching a deep enough furrow in one of the runes that it just breaks the whole enchantment, there's no way you're turning this off. You kind of have to get close to it.
Okay, I'm gonna set my lantern down and start trying to power through towards it.
All right, the winds buffet you. Are you bringing Wheezy with you?
No, Weezy won't be able to handle this.
You think Weezy has a human shield? He's like, don't worry, you got this.
Human, he's a weasel.
I'll protect Weezy.
I'm protected. All people out of Weezy.
All right, Mordecai steps forward, and the winds are buffeting you. And you have to raise your arms because you can just feel this gust of wind coming from the south, just curling into you, just, and it's really like you have to stumble through, and it takes you longer than you should, but you make it up next to the circle, and what do?
I'm gonna take a deck deliberately. I'm gonna try and break.
All right, roll an Arcana test.
I swear, if I roll like a 25 or something, and you, I've got 19.
All right. Looking at the runes, you managed to decipher which one is sort of the bottleneck of the magical energy in this section of the circle, and you start to slowly and carefully carve sort of at the stone with your dagger. And all you can think is, damn, I'm going to need to get this sharpened soon. But it takes you a couple of minutes of slow, deliberate chiseling, but with one flick of another piece of gravel, the magic circle fades, and the winds, with a blue spark of energy, the winds disappear as if they had never been there.
All right, problem solved. Where are the others?
Meanwhile, the others.
Wait, I want to do the meanwhile. Meanwhile.
Bram, Zali, you guys are with Arthur and Yohak, and you're staring down a hallway that goes 40 feet before turning to the right, and then what appears to be to the left, if the edge of your vision is to be trusted. What do?
Alright, so as we say, switches to us, you just see our team, walking down the hallway to where are we right now, and Zali is just talking to Arthur, and that is why Kenkus are just very shitty birds.
I mean, I never met one of them before, so can't really say for myself.
They just repeat everything you say.
I mean, yeah, but sometimes songs need to be played twice, you know?
They do not play songs, they literally repeat whatever you say.
Alright. As you guys are walking, you make it to the bend in the corner. Behind you, Yohak is just rolling his eyes like, I can't believe I'm following you guys. Bram, at the head of the group, you see that the hallway opens up into another T-junction here going north and south.
I say we go.
Does Bram have anything to say about this?
No, Bram.
You say.
Fine, continue along the path.
All right. As you make it around the corner, you realize you come across. You see to the north there is a room, and you hear the omnipresent sound of rushing wind and a light source from somewhere over off to the down the hall and to the right. And you can barely hear just over the rushing of wind, debate in familiar voices. All that leaves is a path to the south. And down here at the edges of dark vision, Bram, you can just barely make out a tall statue standing in a larger room in the darkness.
Help. Oh, wait, no.
Is that statue holding a mace?
Looks like it's holding something like that, yeah. It looks to be an armored man holding a mace, like like the glorification of some sort of warrior.
Glorification.
Must be me.
Fucking Isaiah here with the hot. Horrification. God damn it! As you have some pretty controversial. Should be.
I appreciate that.
Should be scared of what you say in front of other people. You never know, you might find something. Okay. All right. So.
So Bram, Zali, Arthur looks down that hallway and goes, "Is that a? Call me crazy, but that looks like a chapel of some kind."
You are crazy.
It is.
Do we want to head down that direction? Sounds like we're meeting up with the rest of them if we head north.
I say we check out whatever is down there.
I'm inclined to agree, just to see if there's more down here. What about you, your dragonness? And Yohawk looks up at him and says, and glowers and says, "Let us go south. I have not been to this area yet."
Show, call, and shout.
Orc, Birdman, ahead.
Right. We walk downstairs.
Alright. You guys continue to the end of the hallway and you make it to the threshold of this room, and right on the money, it appears to be a octagonal room about 40 feet across and long, and at the far side of the room there's a statue of some armored man in a mace and several stone benches like pews that have been arranged. Looks like they've been rearranged, and there are pews. Like church pews. I know, Discord's cutting out, but what you see in this room, everybody make a perception test.
Finally.
Finally, yes. Time for grab team vision to kick in.
Time for Bram to open his eyes.
Time for Bram to roll a natural 20.
Your eyes have failed you this time. He's like, yeah, this means something.
Bram,
All I see is darkness.
Bram,
He gets
you are, oh my god, the dichotomy of man. Alright,
Holy shit!
Okay.
so Bram, you,
opens his eyes and there's light.
so Bram, you are dumbstruck by the craftsmanship of the statue. You can see every single individual thread in the, really?
I don't have a huge.
What?
Alright, I'm muting him because Luke is shouting at him now. Bram, you step forward into the room and you cannot help but be enraptured by the craftsmanship of the statue. You can see every single flange on the mace, every single contour of the armor. You can see every single hair in the beard. It is a beautiful piece of craftsmanship. As he steps in, Zali, you stop at the threshold and something smells off in this room. There's this smell of rotting eggs
Who farted?
in the room that
Okay. I would just like to put this in the meme stream and just say this is Zali right now.
Inhales, boy.
With
fan.
with his 20/20 vision.
His eyes can.
Wait.
They're on. You can see he smells.
I can see the smell. All right.
Why can't we be smells? Okay.
Alright. Zali, check
Yohawk
out-
steps forward as well. Arthur's just standing back there like, weird room.
Hold up. So do I recognize the smell as anything?
From your time in the mountains, you remember that there were some of your people who there was a necessity of mining out homes in the mountains. Some people lived in the trees, but other people actually dug sort of not just mines, but cliff top homes out of the rock of the mountain. And sometimes they would crack into pockets of fermented organic matter that would spew forth noxious gas. And that is why you were always warned to be wary of the smell of rot when you dug into a tunnel. If you smelled rot down in a dank mine, then you needed to get out. Bram.
Alright, Zali calls out for Bram. Stop! Do you smell that?
Can I roll another perception check?
Bram, well, you don't need to. Bram, as you turn and look at Zali, you suddenly sniff, and you've taken a few breaths since you got in here, and all of a sudden you are overcome with coughing. You take 6 points of poison damage.
Zali will cover. Zali will cover his.
Just me.
Just you.
Zali will cover his like. Zali will like cover his like nose and mouth with his like arm, and just like walk forward, just grab Bram by whatever he can, and just pull him back out of that room.
All right, you step in and you drag Bram back as. Oh shit! Oh shit!
You drag right to the wall.
Yohak, Zali, because of your sharp senses, you see that Yohak sort of pulled up next to you, looking into the room, and you saw his nostrils flare and his reptilian eyes sharpen, and the two of you almost seem to share a look. And as you go in to grab Bram and pull him back in, Yohak backs up and spreads his wings and basically pushes Arthur away from the doorway. And Arthur says, "Whoa, what the hell? What's going on here?" And that's when all of you need to make a Constitution test.
Oh fuck!
It's not just in this room. That's not how gas works.
You know, I just imagine.
Yeah, obviously.
The moment Zali's dragging away, Bram's just like his eyes are like widened and like full with colors, and he's like sights and sounds, sights and colors and shapes of likes of which I have never seen before.
Mysterious colors that seem to be beyond all of time and space.
Exactly. I see the ripping.
Oof.
All right, Bram. What about you? Constitution saving throw. I think you're trained in it, so you should have a pretty good modifier.
Come on, Bram.
Your thing.
Blazing Bram.
Wait. Are we doing Constitution saving throw?
Yes.
Wait, that's different, isn't it? Yes, it is different. Okay, it's a +3. Can I roll again, or do I
No, you add it, and it's a well, it's still a success.
It's a
for you.
12.
Saving throw.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
It's silly, but the power of bullshit.
Thank Christ. So you guys start coughing, but then you sort of intuit where there are some pockets of good air in the room that the gas hasn't really gotten to yet, and you just take deep breaths, and you realize that basically this entire section of the corridor is flooded with noxious gas. And it's around this time that you hear the roaring of wind behind you suddenly stop.
Zali kind of like still holding on to Bram, just like tell them, we need to get away from here. There's poisonous gas in the air. He just like pulls Bram like
Arthur,
back.
Arthur, starting to cough a little bit, says, "Yeah, that's one hell of a smell." And Yohak is just growling at the presence of these fumes. So you guys retreat down the hallway where you came from, or to the room?
We just try to like regroup with the rest.
All right, then, assuming you guys move your full speed.
Because I can see Mordecai from like.
Whoa, hang on. You guys make it about to here, and you need to roll another Constitution saving throw.
Oh jeez.
Hope you don't die.
Okay, I'm using some different dice for GMing, and you guys are not going to like these for this session.
Oh no.
Oh god.
He's
How dare you?
The killer dies.
I'm suing you.
You look at all the sides, there's only 20. It's like, what the fuck?
All right. Moran, you got an 8?
Yep.
All right, Alex, you roll Constitution as well.
Yep. I rolled.
You roll again. You don't roll again.
Okay.
You roll again.
Okay, so Zali, you didn't take a deep enough breath, and you feel that noxious gas starting to burn your lungs as you breathe it in. You only take 3 points of poison damage.
Ooh.
But you guys can continue to move and come into this room. And as soon as you pass into this room, you can feel the air is crisper and cleaner in here. You, but you're definitely out of the.
Corona.
Even worse.
So basically, Mordecai, around the time you finish scratching out the rune and you stand up and you go, all right, the room's clear, the rest of the party comes blundering their way in from the south entrance, and all you are just kind of there like, huh?
Who's doing that?
Stop.
Stop. What the fuck? Who did that? And why?
Who's playing what?
Oh, the perfume. Yeah, okay, that's. Very funny. Ha ha ha!
Sorry about that.
Laughing. Yeah. Oh! Oh!
Let's do it.
Guys, I gotta go. Give me a sec, okay?
Okay.
I'll be back. I just gotta give me my sandwich.
All right. Gah. Yohawk looks frustrated, and he looks back down the passageway and looks at the three of you and says, a chapel back there, full of poisonous gas. Have you undone the wind enchantment on this room?
Yeah.
That's no good.
Why? Oh.
Think about it. A room full of poisonous gas, bottlenecked at a wind enchantment.
Oh dear.
We might not have that much time to be down here anymore. Let's plunder what we can and leave.
I don't suppose there's a way we could fix the circle.
Do you know any wind spells? You could attempt to ritualistically try to, basically repair the circle if you knew what spell you were working with.
Okay, here's my question. It's not as simple as just replicating the rune that I scratched out.
No. Regrettably, the great thing about stone is that it tends to be permanent what you do to it. And that's why it's both really good for making magical circles and a pain in the ass if you make a mistake or scratch it out. Even if you could replicate all the runes, you'd have to know exactly which spell was cast here and how it was cast in order to replicate the effect, which you do not.
Delightful. Are there any doors in this room?
Yes, actually. Hang on.
Other than the ones we came through?
Oh, shit. Yes, there's this doorway up here, and I'm sorry because you can't really see it super well, but there are also doors in the middle of the wall over here that I forgot to mention about. What direction? The more we tarry, the longer we have to breathe that poison.
Do you know what's in there? I just went to the two these doors.
No, I haven't been beyond my section of the dungeon since I got here.
Alright, well, only way to find out. 3, 4, 5, 6. Come on, what are we waiting for? Stack up.
Yohawk stands here and braces himself. Arthur moves to this section over here, draws his longsword, and is ready. Are all of you just stacking up in the same space? Okay.
Alright, Zali kind of actually.
Hey guys, give me some breathing room. Like, we already done enough.
Zali will kind of like come up next to what's his face, Mordecai, and kind of have his bow ready.
All
I
right.
have produced flame ready. I think I already had it. But
Yohawk's claws are bared. Arthur's sword is drawn. Bram, what are you doing?
Graham.
He just sneezes really. He just says his name.
At the door, right?
Yeah, that's the door right there that everybody's in front of.
I take position up here.
Where? Right there. All right.
There.
Then, Zali, Mordecai, the onus is on you to open the door.
All right.
Uh,
I'm going to quickly cast on myself.
What?
I would like to lift if I hear anything behind the door.
You want to listen?
Like,
And before we go in, I'm going to cast Blade Ward.
Okay. Zali, roll a perception test then.
21.
Silence in the room beyond.
All right.
Alright.
Throw the door.
It's clear.
All right, you throw the doors open, both of them. Wham! And inside, you can see it's a small 20 by 25 foot room. And over here on the far wall, you can see what appears to be a rusty old sort of stovetop and something of a chimney above it leading to the outside. You can see drawers scattered all over the room, and parts of the floor have sunken into these little mini pits. Looks like they'd be difficult to navigate around. They wouldn't be difficult to navigate around, but if you accidentally stepped in one of them, then you'd have to pull yourself out of it. Aside from that, there's no visual or audible presence in the room.
Nothing.
On to the next set of doors.
There is another pair of doors on the far side.
Kitchen?
Oh, you said there was just a stove there.
Sorry, hang on a second.
We do not see no doors.
That's
I
because
pretend I do not see it.
there.
Ah, there, there.
Sorry, I've done the lighting layers
Alright.
weird. That's my bad.
All right.
Well, go on.
Holly,
Don't get lead.
I'm-
Don't get lead feet. Go.
I will just like follow behind Mordecai.
All right. Yohawk enters the room, his tail swishing behind him. Bob enters first, and almost runs into one of the holes and goes, "Oh my!" Arthur enters. Come on in. Come on.
I'm trying to. My computer just freezing. Help.
Bram, you come in as well.
Irish accent. Alright, Zali will listen to the door again.
Perception.
Yes, indeed. Oof.
Sounds all clear on the other side.
He will crack open a bit of the door.
All
Oh,
right.
come on. You don't know you failed the check. That's not how.
Ah, well, okay, fine.
Well, the last time Mordecai, you said you threw open the door, so he's perfectly within his right to look in. You can just faintly see, cracking open the door, you see that the hallway beyond is a T-junction that goes to the south and to the north.
Alright. What's the game plan, guys?
Run.
Somebody shut those doors.
Bram, shut the doors. And I don't.
Bram closes the doors.
It won't do much to keep
Is
the
there-
poison out, but it'll at least
Is there
it'll keep
anything
it coming
else?
in here for a little while.
Is there any sort of cloth or something we can like shove in between like the open spaces of the door so to like keep the gas?
Better
from
we
going
don't
in?
completely seal that off because we don't know how many.
Fair enough.
If we could have just blocked off that tunnel, easy.
I say we don't kick down this door this time.
I recognize that you say we shouldn't kick down this door, but given that that is a stupid ass decision, I have elected, and I'm gonna
Guys, what
kick this one.
happened? I'm back.
Not much
Oh,
happened.
you're gonna kick it. Oh, for fuck's sake.
What?
I'm gonna bust this one open too.
All right, you kick down the door, and you, I guess as part of that, you step into the hallway.
Yep.
Okay. Arthur is following at a safe distance. Yohawk is holding up the rear, with Bram, apparently.
Why is there a stove?
Because this looks like the sunken remains of what used to be a kitchen full of potholes.
That's
Zod, rolling his eyes, kind of like goes out into the hallway. I see kobold.
Yeah, Zali and Mordecai, you step out and you look down south and you see the hallway opens up into a room further south. You can just barely make out shelves lining the walls, and at the far end you can see 2 kobolds squatting in the room, like a pair of gopniks, just talking to each other, chittering in Draconic, before they look up. But thankfully, because you guys kicked the door in, they are both staring at you, and they both straighten up and ready their slings. I would like everybody to roll initiative.
All right, so just
give like Mordecai just a look.
flat d20.
Yep. No, D20 plus Dex.
Oh, D20. 15.
That's it.
Initiative. Roll initiative.
D20
Yep.
plus what? Is it
Dex.
Dex.
Oh my
Dexterity.
fucking hell!
16.
Like, hey, I'm sorry. I'm a fucking dumbass. Jeez.
Oh.
Fuck.
Uh,
What the fuck
I
did I
will not.
Fuck my life.
I wish I could, but you know.
I'm really glad we
Shut
actually
up,
made it
yeah.
to combat this game.
How come Dave not what is this? Dave should be getting like 1. I call reroll.
Bitch.
Completely unfair. Dave should be getting 1. You all should be getting what?
Kiddo, you wanna switch?
No. Fuck off.
Just shut up.
You wipe your ass with that mouth.
do
I'm
you
a
kiss your
bird.
mother with that mouth?
Did you just say, do you wipe your ass with that mouth?
Yeah, I did.
Yes, I do. I
Do you eat ass with them? You eat ass
I'm a
with them?
bird, okay? I don't wipe my ass.
I don't have an ass. I'm a bird.
My ass.
Great.
I don't have bowel control.
I don't have an ass. I have a cloaca, okay?
People also have
You
control
wipe
of it.
your cloaca?
I do not, for your information, I do not wipe my cloaca.
I'm
Gross.
very confused.
I'm very confused as well, and I'm not even playing this game.
Nigga, you are the game.
Alright, what are the rolls again?
DM is like D&D sucks. Bruh, you are the game.
Hey, I guess.
Elan's.
I guess birds share that with fucking. How's it called again? It's echidna. There we go. Echidna and platypus.
Did you get a 4 for initiative, Moran?
Yes, yes I did.
That's
Shut up.
regrettable.
Wow.
Yeah, was it-
Mordecai, what's
like I
yours?
said, 15.
I got 12.
Excellent.
It's
So
not
okay. You know, fuck Mordecai. Oh
There are a
no.
lot more goblins and kobolds in this city.
He shows me. They have wait. What? No, I mean no. They have. So what? With the,
Alright. Initiative is set.
Cool.
One of the kobolds shifts forward in front of his comrade. Well, actually, 1, 2.
So Elon, Arthur, Mordecai, and me. I'm fourth. That's
All right, barely seeing Zali around the corner, he decides to knock a sling stone into his sling, and 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Shit. He curses as he realizes something terrible, and he puts a sling stone into his sling and winds it up and appears to be ready and rearing for a fight. The kobold next to him seems to do the same. Behind them, you see something glinting in the darkness before...
Yeah, shit.
Zali. 9 to your AC, I take it doesn't hit.
Nope.
Alright.
Fuck you, man.
Sorry if you use dodge.
Elin, it's your turn.
Okay, I'm gonna.
You watch as Zali and Mordecai step through the door. Mordecai kicks down the door, both of them step through, they look left, and an arrow just whizzes past Zali's head.
I'm gonna pull up my bow and step out. And I go on the doorway. I can't get out. Bye-bye, in the way. Okay, I'm gonna go around Zali here.
So to like here?
Yeah.
All right, that's 15 feet of movement.
I'm trying to.
You're gonna climb over this all.
And you can just barely make out not only these two kobolds at the edge of the torchlight, but where your dark vision sort of kicks in, you can just see behind them the bald heads of two goblins. One here, and one very clear here. The other one seems to be hiding behind his kobold companions.
Oh shit.
I only recently realized.
Okay, I'm gonna pull out my short bow.
You have a longbow?
No, I'm short bow.
She has a short bow.
I'm a tiny child.
Then why specify if you don't have a longbow?
I don't know. I'm pulling out my.
As longbows have longer range and are more powerful. So whomst are you shooting at?
Am I able to hit the goblin that's here? If my thing would work.
Right there? Well, short bow range, if I remember correctly, is 80 feet. Yeah, you can hit him.
Alright, I guess I'm gonna try it.
Well, actually, here's the thing.
Dion, I have a question.
He's got superior cover, so his AC is going to be better because you're kind of firing around the corner right here. But you can shoot at him.
Okay, then you know what? I'm gonna aim for the corner.
All right.
I'm gonna go for hit.
All right, roll up an attack.
Mr. Dion, I have a question.
Yep.
No.
What is the range of a slingshot?
A slingshot? I imagine it would be the same as a sling, which is about 2060.
Sling. 26?
2060. So 20 feet close range, 60 feet long range.
I gotcha. Okay.
I don't get it.
Is that an 11 to hit?
Yeah.
All right. Then your arrow snaps into the ground at the kobold's feet, and you can see it snap in two, and the kobold kind of jumps a little bit to not get hit by it. Damn. Okay. Is that your turn?
Yeah.
All right. Mordecai, what's your dexterity again?
What's Mordecai?
My dexterity is a 16. So
Okay.
Plus 3.
All right, then you go before Arthur.
Where's Mordecai?
Mordecai is right beneath Wheezy.
Oh, okay. Because
He's suffocated by Weezy.
he got eaten by Wheezy.
He's on my shoulders.
Are you sure you're not on Wheezy's shoulder?
He's wearing Weezy
Okay.
like
They're 40 feet away. My full speed is. And I've got my daggers out, so I. So.
God, you.
I just froze my dice for no reason.
I want to.
Just so, like my
I want to move to here.
Okay. Move to there then. Well, actually, is Wheezy on you or?
I said that, didn't I?
All right. Then, as you make it to here, get off of Elin. Jesus.
That's why I'm moving through.
Okay.
He's just like
So as you sort of shoulder around Elin and try to start closing into range, the two kobolds' readied actions go off because you just stepped into their short range.
Good job, Johnny.
And they both fling their stones.
Throw the bastard, or throw the weasel.
Not the
Oh.
weasel, no.
That's a 21 to hit
Oh,
What
shit.
do you fucking think?
and a 20 to hit. Yeah, I was saying you guys didn't like. You're not gonna like these dice.
I
Jesus.
hate.
Oh Jesus. 6 and 5 respectively.
Okay, is Blade Ward still in effect?
How long does it last and what does it do?
It's supposed to last until my next turn.
Okay, you know what? Assuming that... Well, here's the thing. Assuming that you cast it on yourself before you knock the door down, it technically is your next turn. So, it would have faded at the start of your turn.
What do you mean it's my next turn? Doesn't make any sense. Nothing happened.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Implicitly, that means that it lasts about 6 seconds.
Alright, fine.
So you
6 and
take
7 use
6 and 5.
6 and 5.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a total. 5 with 14 damage. Okay, that's an net.
Yeah. One of those sling stones thuds into your diaphragm, and the other one cracks into your sternum, and you. They both wind you pretty hard.
Okay, my door. 3, 5, and a dagger for this fucker, and Wheezy can take the.
Okay, as your bonus action, you're telling Wheezy to go bite this guy?
Bite the fuck out of this little shit.
Bite me.
Alright. Wheezy leaps off your shoulder and flies towards him like he's a honey badger on a hunt. Roll it to attack and bring up the weasel stats, why don't you, so that you can keep track of Wheezy on your own.
Okay, rolling an attack for my dagger.
Excuse me a moment while I open my window.
Does a 21 hit your AC, bitch?
That was a pretty piddly sneeze. What was your attack?
Does a 21 hit your AC?
Yes, it does.
Hell yeah. And did you want me to roll for Wheezy's attack, or?
Yes.
Okay, he also gets a +5 to hit, so that's nice. He gets a 9.
That doesn't hit.
Okay, so my dagger attack is D4 +3. Hell yeah. Isaiah?
Yeah?
5 damage.
5 damage to this guy right here.
Yeah.
Alright, your dagger slams right into his throat and he gurgles before he collapses. And he falls to the ground dead.
Hell yeah.
Shit, and he's one of the guys who rolled decent initiative. And Wheezy,
Good.
out of curiosity, how much damage does Wheezy do on a bite?
Guys, I'll
21 piercing,
So just
I'm taking
1
out
point of
something.
piercing damage?
basically.
Wow. Alright,
In fairness, if I pick someone, it would do about it.
yeah. A point of damage is a bonus action. That works. Alright, it's Arthur's turn, and he steps up and steps around the corner and sees all the commotion going on and goes, I don't know. And he reaches for his pocket where his wand of firebolts was, and then he realizes, ah, shit. Gave that to the other guy. And he's going to, 15, 20. He's going to step forward closer into the room, but aside from that, not do much. Dave, it's your turn.
He left to walk his dog.
Okay.
Oh dear. I just noticed something about this room that has me more than a little concern.
There's lots of holes.
Isaiah, are these barrels?
Those are barrels, yes. In fact, while you're roll a perception test with disadvantage, actually.
Oh dear. I fell off the desk. Okay, so I got a 13 and a 5 before adding, so I guess that means I take
Yes.
for a total of 8.
For a total of 8, there's nothing in those corners as far as you know. You're just focused on these guys right here. Alright, so, Dave, what are you doing?
He went to walk his dog.
Shit.
He's still walking his dog.
God damn it. Hopefully he doesn't do this when we're playing this live together after the whole COVID thing blows over.
Hold up, real quick, I gotta go walk my dog. An hour.
Alright, I'm back. Dude,
Well,
everybody's
alright,
left.
he's
All
like-
the beer has been drunk. The pretzels have been eaten. What's the matter with you?
No, he gets back. It's just Isaiah.
So,
Where'd you go?
guys, don't worry. Don't worry, guys, don't worry. I will play as a killer.
Okay.
Dave will just blankly stare at the wall and just completely forget what the fuck is going on.
You know what? I'm down with that. Bram, it's your turn. Jesus, you're all the way in the back.
The headman of intelligence has made him so smart. Not gonna use it.
Actually, I'm
I have no idea what's going on in there, but I'm forward.
I'm gonna
Alright.
use his action. Yes, I'm gonna use his Akila's Dave's action and his bonus action to sneeze, and I will use his bonus action to cover his mouth.
What?
Is that
He will.
he sneezes
Yes.
and he
His
covers it.
action is to sneeze, and his bonus action is to cover his mouth.
My goodness, he covered it.
So the 16, he rolled a 16 for his sneeze, and he rolled an 8 for covering his mouth. So
Oh,
you put.
he fucking got us all.
He gave us the.
Dave's back. What happened?
You
Uh,
You sneezed and you failed to cover your mouth.
All right, Bram, you've moved 5 spaces out of 6, I think, and you can see that there are kobolds and goblins in this room.
Wait, where's the Where's Gobby?
Goblins are all the way in the back. 5, 10.
Okay. I'm hitting the higher. I'm hitting this goblin right here with javelin.
What's the range on your javelin again? 30, 90?
Oh, really? Yeah, 30, 120.
30, 120. All right, roll the attack with disadvantage then, because they are just beyond that 30 short range.
All right.
Yeah, but if you turn the distance between the 3 of them into a triangle, you get 90 feet visible. That doesn't help in any way, but I thought it was interesting.
All right, I get it. I'm just aiming at the lane. Hello?
I can hear you.
Oh, lower numbers of 10. I'm assuming that doesn't hit.
Yeah, your javelin clatters into the room somewhere.
Shit.
Want to do anything with your bonus action, or?
Can I move forward?
Nope. Not with a bonus. You have 5 more feet of movement, but you can't end your turn in Elin or Zali's space.
Well, I ready another javelin, or...
That takes an action. Or, well, just have another javelin in your hand as a bonus action?
Yeah, whatever.
Okay, so you've got an axe in one hand and a javelin in the other.
Yeah.
Alright, fair enough. It is the second goblin's turn, and seeing Mordecai running into the room, he actually aims past you for Arthur. And he shouts something in Draconic, curiously. Do you know Draconic, Mordecai?
I do not.
Okay, well then you have no clue what the hell he said. And... Holy shit, that's a natural 20. Against Arthur. Thankfully, question mark? So, that damage is going to be... Shit. Of course you would. He rolled a 6 on damage, times 2, plus 2, 6, 12, 14. Jesus. So, Elin, you have the satisfaction? Or bizarre fate of seeing an arrow fly true and basically impale Arthur right through the chest, similar to how you got shot underneath the mines of Copper Knight Hold. Like, the arrow just goes straight through his chest piece, leather chain, you don't really know, and you see it thunk, poke out of the other side just to the left of his spine, and he puts a hand on himself, and he's like, holy shit. And
that's gotta hurt.
stings like a bitch. And it's around that time, Mordecai, that, speaking of things that happen in Copper Knight Hold, you hear the sounds of 2 draconic chitters behind you, as from behind the barrels...
See, I knew it had a character, but somehow this is where we are.
I don't understand why the fighters are more cautious than you. Like, they should be in there taking these hits.
Are slacking instead of stepping up.
All right. While the bad news is, since they both have allies, since each of them has an ally next to their target, they get advantage on attack rolls. So, oh well, one of them got like an 8, so I'm assuming that doesn't hit you. The other one, the other one gets a 23. So I'm assuming that hits with his dagger.
Bite my brimstone.
3 points of piercing damage. Bite my brimstone ass. Great, I love it. All right, so 3 points of piercing damage. What are you at?
10 and 3 temporary.
Oh, that's right, because, yeah, okay. 10 and 3. Okay.
Peace et toi.
Zali, it is now your turn.
Alright, I have a question. Is Arthur on the ground?
Arthur? No. I mean, you're all underground, technically, but...
No, on the floor. Like, is he on the floor, on the ground?
He is
laying
standing...
on the ground.
No, he's still standing.
Okay. Okay. Alright. Zali, wait, how bad of a shape is Arthur in right now?
Arthur looks like he's been bloodied. Like, he's out of character. That took off half of his hit points.
Okay. So he's still standing.
He's still standing. He looks like he could take another one of those? Question mark.
Okay. Hopefully not. Zali will pull out an arrow, and he will shoot this guy.
All right. Longbow or short bow?
Longbow. I don't have a short bow.
Okay. Roll to hit.
It is plus 5. Wait. Oh, these are hand axes. I like how each hand axe has its own. Plus 5 to hit. Why did I keep putting equal sign? Alright, dice, do not disappoint me. 14.
You just barely hit.
Fuck. Alright. Well.
Roll damage.
Alright.
I don't...
What?
No, just roll damage. You hit.
I hit?
Yeah, you hit.
Oh,
I did say barely, but...
I thought I did. Well, I thought you meant I hit. Like, it almost hit, but it didn't. That's what I thought you meant. Alright. 1d8 plus 3. Anyway.
I swear to God.
1d8 plus 3.
Oh, thank
11.
Christ. You arc your arrow just right so that you not only catch him right, like, in through one ear, out through the other, but,
Please tell me hit the other roll kobold.
almost. He basically gets thrown 10 feet and pinned to the ground right here in front of his dead comrade. Thunk. And then it's just thunk. The arrow's just... Alright.
Zali will then use second wind to attack again.
Action surge?
Is it action surge?
Yeah, second wind heals yourself. Action surge is how you attack again.
Oh, sorry, I just read the wrong one. Yeah, he uses action surge to get one more attack.
Alright.
The other kobold next to Mordecai. He will yell at Arthur to duck.
Arthur, holding it, looks back, sees you knocking a bow, and you just see that look cross his face, that look of, not again, and he crouches.
Okay. 8. Oh, fuck.
Passes, Arthur crouches, but he crouches to kobold height, and you fire, and it basically not only grazes over the top of he not only grazes the top of Arthur's head, it grazes the top of the kobold's head. Doesn't deal any damage.
Okay.
But Arthur just kind of goes.
As long as I'm not killing Arthur, I'm fine.
All right. You still have a move.
He will kind of like toss his bow to the side, and like somewhere inside the room, if that's possible. And then he will take out his sword and shield, and he will move like right here. Is that possible?
It was your bonus action to do the action surge, right?
Yes.
Okay, then you can't.
Wait,
like,
is that a bonus action?
It is a bonus action. Action surge and second wind are bonus actions. So, for the sake of keeping it consistent, you can't fire 2 shots, drop the bow, take out other weapons, and then rush in.
Alright. He will then just still bow in hand, just move in front of Arthur.
5, 10, 15. Okay. You took the bow with you. Alright, that works. It's Yohawk's turn, and hearing the commotion, he just kind of stumbles in.
Take out my shield? I have a question. Can I still take out my shield?
No, you can't.
Alright.
Yohawk, rounds the corner, just galloping, screeches to a halt next to you, Eland. One wing, like his wings tucked against his body, looks into the room, stares, trying to make out a target, and just past this corner, he sees the goblin and the kobold. Does a quick measurement of distance. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. But he growls in frustration and says, "Not close enough." And he spends his action to dash. 5, 10. He's going to make an athletics check. You have got to be fucking kidding me. And makes it 15 feet before getting his foot caught in one of the potholes and face planting into it. And he takes 6 points of damage on a d6. Of course he does.
Oh my god!
He goes charging in with his dash action. His legs get caught inside of the pothole, and he just does that sort of cartoon thing where his jaw slams to the ground and his lower body like jackknifes over top of him, and he just flips and lands on his back next to you, Mordecai. Looks up at you, and Yohawk just ran into the fight and tried to get into the room, and you have to make a little, not really difficult athletics check to jump over these holes, and Yohawk rolled a 1. So he stepped in the hole, slammed his chin into the ground, and flipped and tumbled over, and now he's on the ground and he's stunned for a round. He's just got the spiral anime eyes, like, Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay. So he's stunned. And we're at the top of it.
Zolly just sees that it just has like a what the fuck face on him.
I was like, and to think that you were the one that almost killed me.
Alright. So
actually,
the bad news is all of you at this point here, from the hallway to the north, the sound of a door slamming open.
Oh fuck.
It's a demon lord.
And Bram, you and Elin both look behind you to see, at the edge of the torchlight, another small, scaly figure breaking out of a pair of doors up here. With a sling in his hand, and he fires.
At who?
Bram, at you, 16.
My AC is...
AC's what?
18.
Alright, then it plinks off of your...
Off
your belt buckle, yep.
The almighty belt buckle.
I just realized we're fighting an army of Dennis the Menace.
Of what?
We're fighting an army of Dennis the Menace.
30.
Oh.
All right. Next.
Fuck.
This kobold who's dealing with Wheezy draws a dagger and tries to bring it down onto the little animal.
Monster.
19 against it, Wheezy's AC. Mordecai?
Against Wheezy's AC.
19, yep.
Oh no!
It's a weasel.
Okay, how many hit points does he have, out of curiosity?
Fucking 1.
Welcome to my world, bitch.
Alright, then, Wheezy gets turned into shish kebab, then. Just...
F in the chat for Wheezy.
F's in the chat for Wheezy.
Wheezy.
Yeah.
F, okay. And then, so Wheezy is... Fortunately, Wheezy's body doesn't stick around for long, because as the dagger's drawn out of it the third time, Wheezy just kind of poofs into lint and smoke.
Avenge me!
He turned into a limb.
Oh, God.
And that is when this kobold decides to step up and do something. I don't know, man.
And dance.
All right. Back down.
Starts in the jiggy.
Back down the hallway, out of the door, another kobold. This room down here is like a clown car, basically. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. He rushes up to you, Bram, with a dagger, and...
I'm spooked.
Oh, hey, there we go. 23 against AC.
Yeah, that hits.
Jesus Christ. 6 points of piercing damage.
Shit, I haven't raged. Yeah, that.
Yeah, you haven't raged yet.
I'm at 13 HP. I'm at 13 HP right now.
Stop being so calm and rational, damn it.
Yeah, get... And...
Aren't you tired of being nice? Don't you just want to go ape shit?
Yes.
Okay.
Last time he went ape shit, I almost died.
Alright, another kobold steps out of that room. Yes, I hear it. Another kobold steps out of that room, notches a stone into his sling, and flings it at you, Bram.
Bram, thank you for being my human shield.
What do I do? What do I mean, what's rating?
The attack is only a 16. Oh, wait, he's got advantage because the teammate's next to him. No. 16 against AC.
No.
So, 2 sling stones have clinked off of your belt buckle.
Damn.
That is 1 sturdy-ass belt buckle. Back in the room, the goblin who fired the first arrow sees Mordecai having a really tough time, and... well, actually, he's got some decent pickings here. Nah, he's gonna go for Mordecai, because that's who's got the most damage on him.
Mordecai is gonna die.
But I take it a 11 doesn't hit? Alright. He's going to reposition himself here, so he's got a better angle on the hallway, just in case. And so, Elin, it's your turn.
Okay. Can I use...
Fire.
That, yeah. That...
That
Can
thing?
I use can I use charm person on that guy right there?
You could if you
I've
wanted
never used it
to.
before.
You could if you wanted to. What's its effect again? I can't... If I remember right, it just means that the target, if you succeed, if the enemy fails a wisdom save, the target basically treats you as a friend.
Yeah. And then
Until
afterwards...
you or your command do anything harmful to...
And then afterwards, they become your hostile. You. So... See, okay, does that work on kobolds though? I'm wondering. So they are a creature, but like... But they're already hostile though. Like, how can they be like 2 times hostile? You become even more hostile, which means you're gonna find their house and burn it down. And then cyberbully them on Facebook.
If I remember correctly, charm person just means they treat you as a friend. That doesn't necessarily mean they're brainwashed to kill their teammates.
Yeah.
Produce flame, set his ass on fire.
Alright, roll to hit.
I was gonna be nice, but...
I was gonna be nice, but fuck it. You get the door.
Let's hope it works.
Elon, it's either my way or the fire.
Either you be my I set your ass on fire.
Oh my god. Elon's child.
10.
Sadly, that misses.
Why can't we be friends?
Why can't we be friends?
You scorch the wall next to the kobold's head, and on the other side of the wall, Bob just kind of... Is something burning?
Yeah, chap, did you smell something?
Alright, like to move, like to use a bonus action, what would you like to do, Elin? Every time you do that, it's funny. It's just like, oh, I don't know.
You know what? I'm running.
I'm running away.
You know what? Bram is protecting me. I got him in front of me. I got Arthur behind me. I'm in a good spot. I'm gonna stay where I am.
And
All right.
Ryan moving the fuck.
Dave's hiding in a corner.
Dave is having a debate about the concept of extra-dimensional gods as other people.
Yeah, there you go. All right, it's Arthur's turn, and Arthur, seeing Mordecai getting hurt, starts to like hum a little ditty to himself and prepare some healing magic. But Zali steps in front of him, and he's like, "God damn it!" And he looks at the corner right there, and he's gonna spend half his movement to try and squeeze past, and he succeeds, thank God, against all odds. He steps forward, and he now has to make the difficult choice of healing Mordecai with Cure Wounds, or attacking this kobold and having Mordecai settle for a healing word. He's gonna attack.
Healing word. What the fuck would the word be?
Brings up his longsword. He's not good. He's not good with this thing. Oh God. He brings up his longsword and he glances it off of the ground in front of the kobold because he's still stumbling over the barrel. And Zali, he catches your eye and says, "Don't give me that look, man." And he's gonna cast Healing Word on Mordecai anyway and provoke the attack of opportunity. But the kobold does basically the same thing. Swings at him and Arthur just kind of ducks back away.
Forward. They both clash their weapons. Oh.
Does it all. And Arthur's just like, why can't we be... Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends?
That's what he sings. That's his healing word.
Alright.
Why can't we be friends?
That's a first level healing word. That only gives you...
It brings back your pinky.
That gives you... Shit, it should say his casting stat right there.
It's
there we go. 6.
ibuprofen.
It gives you 6 hit points, Mordecai.
So ibuprofen.
Yeah. When it comes down to it, it's basically ibuprofen. Speaking of which, Mordecai, with a song in your heart and a spring in your step, it's your turn.
Song in your heart, spring in your step. You have
tickle on your dick.
Mordecai,
What are you there?
Yeah.
it's your turn, man. You just got healed for
Mordecai,
6 by
where's
Arthur.
victory?
Oh, good.
And Zali, you smell. You take a. You're breathing heavy in the moment, and it just occurs to you: is that brimstone? It smells
Brimstone?
like sulfur or something like that.
Oh.
Smell of something burning. Make a perception test if you want.
Sure.
It's funny. 6 or 7 sessions ago, he had already had this figured out.
Who had? Oh, yeah. Wow.
Yohawk's got some carpet burn, man. He's got some rug burn from that slide.
Yeah, huh?
Okay, so
Walks
am I being as these two are these two considered flanking me right now?
No, technically. They have to be on dead opposite sides of you.
Awesome. I'm gonna stab this one.
Okay.
Yeah, my cane, you fuck. Okay.
All right. Keep in mind, I've been reading on opportunity attacks. As long as you don't get further away from an enemy, they can't make an opportunity attack against you. So you can still move. As long as you don't like increase the increment of distance between you and your opponent from 5 feet to 10 feet.
Here's the thing. That means I can move to exactly one spot here.
Yeah, but I mean,
what difference does that make?
I don't know, man. You tell me. You're closer to the goblins.
You can see, you can smell their breath. You know what they
Oh,
ate for
yeah,
lunch?
there's goblins. I forgot.
You know what they ate
There's
for lunch?
goblins. All right. Well, I'm gonna. I feel like this is a trap. I feel like this is a trap. Like you're telling me this because you want me to move, like trigger some ready action, and I don't want that.
Congratulations, Moran.
Open the
I'm
door.
just gonna stab this one.
I
This
was
one here.
wondering if you can do a D1 or a D2.
D2's a coin. D1 is a line. What were you expecting?
A D1 is a marble with the number 1 engraved on.
My guy, I'm pretty sure you just rolled a planet, and that's Taiwan.
What the fuck?
Grid coordinates.
Okay. I want. Jesus Christ.
Go ahead.
I want to stab this bowl.
Okay, go
This
ahead.
should be a 3 right now.
You want to stab this kobold, so go ahead, roll.
All right, I'm not throwing
You're stabbing.
that anyways. Oh boy! That's a 16 plus 5 is
That hits.
get fucked, lizard. Max damage. 7 points.
Maximum carnage.
Underhand, you just bring it up.
Breaker.
Underhand, you bring it up under his jaw, up through his mouth, and into his brain pan, and he just hangs on your dagger there for a moment before you
And now
bring your foot up and just push him off.
I'm gonna just casually refresh those.
Nice.
Fatality, extreme brutality, flawless victory.
Again, you smell that telltale smell of brimstone, Zali, but you just can't place it. Anything
Can I do
for
a
your bonus or your
perception
move?
check then?
You're officially not threatened from this whole side.
Second, I still have my bag of tricks, yeah?
Yeah.
And I've only used 1 out of it so far.
Out of its 3 charges for the day, yeah. And it's
But
about
I'm not
9
sure how
p.m.
many
and it
charges
refreshes
had
it.
when I picked it up.
It had...
I didn't know, but I didn't know.
Okay. Generally, it has 3 charges, and those 3 charges refresh at dawn.
Okay. But I don't. My point is, I don't know if someone else. So that could have been the only charge for all I know. What is the? I don't really have anything in terms of bonus actions right now.
Okay.
Just being as Wheezy's dead, and he takes an action to use the bag. So
What the fuck? Brimstone prom days from hell. What the fuck?
What?
What's going on?
What are you looking at?
I'm gonna step here since this doesn't move me further away from him. It doesn't trigger an opportunity.
You're gonna step... Hang on a sec. You're gonna step... You're gonna step where? Oh,
One
okay.
step.
All right, you step there,
Slide to
and
the left.
there are 2
Slide
sinkholes next to you,
south.
but you're otherwise good. Dave, it is now your turn. You've just clued into the fact that there's a fight going on outside.
No. What happens is, okay. Dave's just like, huh. So I suppose I can rationalize them as quasi-dimensional beings who can manipulate matter at a subatomic level with thought. Yeah, I suppose that makes somewhat sense, I suppose.
That's not what quasi means.
I'm just throwing random techno jargon around, okay? That's what I'm good at.
Oh, great. He's Rick Sanchez.
No, I'm not Rick Sanchez.
He just says fancy.
No, I'm not Rick Sanchez. I'm Reed Richards. I'm the original bitch.
He just pulls out the scroll of teleportation. He looks at Bob and he says, "Come on, Bob, in and out. 10 minutes adventure."
Right, well, we're going on an adventure. We have to meet the Council of Daves.
Oh god.
Oh god, I hope.
Daves. Okay.
Oh god, no.
One of them
David.
is
Wait. I just got it. David and Morty. With a D.
God damn it, you guys.
It's in Mordecai.
Oh, jeez, Dave.
I'm calling.
Ah, jeez, Dave.
all right.
I don't know about this.
I want to try. I don't know if this is possible or not, but I want to try and get Bob to go over to like the shelves area here stealthily and then hide there if that's possible.
Do you want to just send him out there like, oh, there are shelves. Try to hide there.
Yes, and stealthily get there because he has like a +3 stealth.
Okay. You roll a stealth test then.
D20.
Well,
Okay, D20, right?
Yes. What is his flying speed?
Okay.
Hang on, I got it right here. He has a fly speed of 60 feet, so he can definitely get there. Roll a stealth test.
Got it. Hopefully, this for fuck's sake.
I'll be honest, I was kind of telling you to roll that as a joke because you have 2 light sources in here and everybody's on high alert, so everybody just sees Bob fly in and land on this shelf. I don't know what you were expecting.
Yeah, he's dead. Alright. I told him to hide behind the shelf, like.
Alright.
Well, fuck it. Alright, Dave now makes a grand entrance. He just walks out.
When the doors back.
Walks out of which door?
That's good.
Dave just walks out. He just walks out.
To like here?
Here.
Okay. What's your AC?
My AC?
Doesn't matter. You hear a whoosh behind you and feel the like rush of air as you walk out casually. Elin and Bram, you see the kobold see him walk out from the doorway. Eyes bug out like, who the fuck is this guy? Swings and misses by like 6 inches. Like this guy's on edge.
He's like, whoa, okay, alright. He looks at the kobold. What the hell is wrong with you, you little gremlin?
Remember that you have I think Arthur gave you his wand of fireballs firebolts last session. So you can cast. I think you have, and I think it's got 6 charges. Remember, it's got 6 charges on it, and you can spend a charge to cast firebolt. And his only stipulation is don't use the last charge.
Okay. Here's a question I have, right?
Mm-hmm.
Based on my current trajectory, could I use Burning Hands and burn everybody in right now?
Depending on what direction you point, you can either burn Bram and the kobold, or Zali and maybe singe the top of Johak's hair.
God, that's kind of tempting.
So, on the one hand, you can piss off your...
Is Johak?
Johak is the blue dragon.
Yeehaw.
Let me burn you. I will kill you.
I think
said his name.
I think I just said Bob was dead. Well, it was a good one. Okay. Alright, let's see. So I go take that son of a bitch. Let's see. I have 10 health. Okay, well, it's too late for that alternative, so I can't pull that off now. Alright, I guess they have no choice. It's time to fight, I suppose. I have the wand of fire. How many charges how many charges it has?
He, last you checked, I think Arthur said that there were 6 left on there, and he left you with the warning, don't use the last one.
Okay, in that case, I'm gonna use,
He's gonna use the last one first.
Of course! No, okay, I'm gonna try using Cause Fear and see what the fuck that does. Thank you.
Cause fear?
I know what it does. I know what it does.
Cause fear on whom?
The guy in front of me.
The kobold up to the north? Or Elin?
This guy. Why would I use on Elin? Why?
I don't know, man. You have a love-hate relationship with her.
I think it's primarily me confused and she hates me. That's the relationship thing. This guy right here. This dude.
Alright, let me find this one. First level necromancy. Oh, Silver would be
Probably
proud.
end up with Dave getting stabbed with the chest. So then, hooray.
Construct or undead is immune to this effect. The target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or become frightened of you until the spell ends. At the end of each of its turn, it can repeat the save, ending the effect on itself as a success. Okay, so you point at that kobold right there next to Bram.
Yeah.
Okay, he's got to make a wisdom saving throw. What is your save? What are the save DCs on your spells?
What the fuck's a save DC?
When you go down to your spell list, you should have something called a saving throw DC.
Let me see.
When you
Okay, is wisdom.
no, like on your spell list, there's actually a number that says saving throw DC. It should be at the top of your spell list off to the right. Basically, if you cast a spell that requires a saving throw on the enemy's part, that is your magical aptitude for making these spells hard to resist.
Saving throw DC is 10.
10?
Yes.
That doesn't seem right.
Well, that's what it says.
Saving throw DC is 10.
That's what it says. Wait, stop. The wizard spell is 14, actually.
Okay, that makes more sense. If I remember correctly, it's something like 8 plus your proficiency bonus plus your spell casting ability modifier.
Yeah.
So that's 8 plus 2 plus 4 in this case.
Yeah, so 14.
Okay, so Kobold is going to... Oh, God.
He's like, yeah, not 20. He's like super wide for some reason.
You said 14?
Yeah.
Ah, shit. He rolled a 14. He rolled a 14 exactly, so...
Black.
You reach out and you see this purple miasma crawl off of your hands and, like, soar towards him and, like, get in his face and crawl into his ears and basically every orifice on his head. And he looks at you and his eyes widen for a moment and he shakes his head and looks at you and glares and growls. And I guess that's your turn, huh, Dave?
Yep, alright. Well, here, it's been fun. Yeah, it's been fun.
Alright, the goblin at the back over here steps over to get a better firing position on Mordecai and shoots. That's cocked. 18 against armor class.
You're a cock.
Yeah, that'll hit.
These dice are horrific. Oh, well, that's not. 3 points of piercing damage.
Okay. I mean, that puts a notch in my...
Alright.
Hey, Isaiah.
Mm-hmm.
Out of morbid curiosity. Actually, no. Out of morbid curiosity. Wait. Never mind. I'll ask later. Never mind.
Alright. Bram, it's your turn. The kobold in front of you almost got bamboozled by Dave's magic, but it seems to have fallen on deaf ears.
You got bamboozled?
Alright then. I'm gonna move up here. The HP is low, but that's okay. To swing a home run at him with my battle axe.
Alright, roll to attack.
He grabs it by the blade.
Are you raging?
Yes, I am actually, yeah.
Okay, so you use your bonus action to rage this turn?
My mom.
Okay. That's nice, dear. Oh.
Roll a strength test for me. You are raging. So you get a +2. You get advantage on it. So.
Hey, I don't.
Roll again and take the higher of the 2 results.
Oh, this is not a good. Oh.
Okay. Fortunately, you don't let go of your axe, but you swing super hard right in this kobold's line of sight, and he ducks, and your axe passes a good 4 or 5 inches over his head, and he straightens up and looks at you like, come on, dude. And you just... you can keep moving around him if you want, but aside from that, your turn is over.
Oh, so basically, like...
As long as you stay within 5 feet of the guy you're moving around, then it doesn't provoke an opportunity attack.
Wait, what I'm just wondering, why did I roll a d20 plus with like strength advantage twice if the person's attack missed? Like what happened?
You rolled a 1. That's a critical failure. I was testing to see if you let go of your axe and sent it flying down the hallway over here.
Oh shit! That's
Yeah.
a good thing I did.
Here's the thing about ones. I make them entertaining. Like, if you had thrown it, I would have given it like a 25% chance of hitting these guys.
Okay. That would have been cool.
Like, critical hits and critical failures in my games are an opportunity to go, how can I fuck this up? That's why a lot of times when my monsters roll critical failures, their weapons break.
Yeah.
No, this is refers to either your attack or your enemy's anatomy.
Okay, then it's back up to the kobolds. This kobold, oh, that kobold is dead. This kobold right here realizes he's kind of surrounded on all sides by enemies, and he's going to heads, shoulders, knees, and toes. Let's kick this bird to bits. He's going to swing at Zali, actually.
Miran.
Okay.
Basil.
Of course. 20 against your AC, Zali.
Misses. I'm kidding, it hits.
He's at 35 AC, bitch.
Alright. Then you take 4 points of piercing damage from the knife.
Left die.
On Zali. Okay.
Left die.
And he's going to... Actually,
how many
he's...
points of piercing damage?
4 in total. I think that puts you at, what, 17?
11.
11? When
I
did
took
you...
damage before with the poison gas.
Oh, yeah. Okay. And he's going to take a risk. He's going to run away. He's going to provoke an opportunity attack. Zali, you still have your bow out, right?
Yep.
Okay, so he's just going to provoke an opportunity attack from Arthur, which fails because Arthur isn't good with a sword. And he's going to try and leap over this hole.
Wait, doesn't I get don't I get an opportunity attack?
No, because you don't have a melee weapon. Oh, wait a minute. Don't you have talons?
I do have talons.
Call him with their talons.
All right, roll a melee attack then.
Exciting. Alright, where's my talons? Yes, of course. Alright.
All right. I'm just going to post something to Discord real quick, because he leapt over that hole, and you're not going to believe what he rolled.
19.
Okay, you hit. Roll your talon damage.
What do you
Haha, my bird claws. He is a D4 plus 3. Right?
Hey, Miran, I guess you now finally became your real D&D.
7.
7. Oh, okay. Well, I'd like to thank you because you didn't give this guy an opportunity to have this athletics roll come into effect. I don't know what's with NPCs in these potholes, but they're deadly. So this guy tries to run away and leap over the pothole, and as he goes to take the jump, Zali, you just reach out with a leg and rake it across his back. Goes at least a few inches into the scaly flesh, and he just arcs and screams, and Wilhelm screams, falls into the pothole, and just crumples in there. Fuck. Dropping like flies.
As he falls down and Zali swing at me with your tiny daggers.
Alright, from this room up here, 5, 10, 15, 20, another goblin emerges.
Jesus.
Oh, I swear to God.
What is this clown car of a dungeon?
I swear to God.
Steps in front of his kobold colleagues and picks his target. Elin, what's your AC? Doesn't matter. He rolled a natural 2. Arrow flies past your head, flies past Zali's head, flies past Mordecai's head, and lands down here in the wall next to the goblin's head. It just flies perfectly past you and you and you and him and just sticking out of the
Where did the
bookcase.
arrow hit?
Beg your pardon?
Here, right here.
Where did the arrow hit?
All the way back in the cellar. It just flies past Elin and Zali and Mordecai and this goblin right over here. It just embeds itself in the shelf with a natural 2. And the goblin just kind of goes, I don't know. Very disappointed. I can already see, Elin, I can already see you measuring a produced flame.
Oh my God, who wasn't here?
Zali, it's your turn.
Yes, indeed.
No enemies
Still
are...
bow at hand. What?
No, it's just there's no enemies between you and the goblins in this room now.
What about I mean, there's still Mordecai. Did I try? All right. Well, I will wind another arrow and hit this little bitch right here. Why is it not loading? Right, I have to be in select. All right, this guy.
All right.
Bitch right here.
Mordecai, an arrow whizzes past your head, and you just kind of go, "Huh, wasn't expecting that." And then behind you, you hear Zali.
No, I haven't shot it yet.
I know, but
Hold
you hear
on, I
Zali.
haven't shot it.
Okay.
Right. Zali just yelled, "Duck."
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You're just gonna say down in front, and Mordecai just goes, "Oh, Neptune."
Oh, Neptune. Neptune Almighty. All
Down
right.
in front, ducks. Still gets hit by the fly.
Roll the 12.
That regrettably does not hit the goblin. It with the arrow that hit right next to it, his senses are heightened, and he looks and sees you notching an arrow, and he too goes, "Oh, Neptune," and just dodges. All right, you want to move at all?
In his head, like, meanwhile, like, just as the arrow, like, is shot, in his head, somehow, like,
All right, Zali, would you like to move or use your bonus action to draw new weapons? You do have that double blade, my guy.
My what?
You do have your
I
double
do.
scimitar.
Dude,
Uh,
you're Darth Maul.
yes, but I want to save, like, I kind of want to have, like, for a special, like, air sweep attack.
My guy.
You want
I know. All right. He will put back his arrow
His bow, okay.
and wait. Well, yeah, sorry, bow, and pull out his double scimitar.
Okay, we're gonna say, for the purposes of your turn, that's it. If you don't move, that'll take the rest of your turn. Because unless,
fair enough.
you know what, actually, we can say that he does that as his bonus action. Just
Just
puts
puts move.
Yeah, so you can still move.
pass me?
How much?
If I remember right, 25 feet. So I think you can get to about here.
I'm gang.
He will move like here. Wait,
Where?
he will.
Okay, and are you
He
going to?
actually-
Are you actually crossing that pothole?
Wait, hold on. I was here. Wait, I was here. Hold on.
No,
Hold
you were next to Arthur. You were right here.
Okay.
So it's 5.
So, hold on. What's underneath the like
Nothing.
kobolds here?
Nothing. They were all standing
Alright.
on perfectly good ground. 5, 10, 15, 20.
So,
The entire time they're standing on Dio.
he will move over here.
You were
Okay.
expecting me, but it was me. Wait, shit.
You thought it was the ground, but it was me, Dio.
Now you roll a 20? I just threw my D20 casually off to the side, and it just lands on a 20. Alright, Zali moves there. He's got his scimitar out, double scimitar out. It's Yohawk's turn, and he recovers from the stun at the end of his turn, but he just kind of, on his back, looks up. Last thing he saw was a room full of enemies, and then he tripped. And then he shakes himself out of his stupor, looks up, and goes, "Oh, everything's dead." Back up to the kobolds.
It's like a crazy hangover. You wake up, everyone did it. Oh, okay.
All right.
Hangover part 4.
It's kobolds in the hallway, and this guy is going to tell his goblin friend down in front, and he's going to sling a stone at Elin, because he doesn't have a good angle on Bram.
And Dave jump in front and save her now.
He doesn't have to.
That's impossible.
You want to know what this guy rolled? Do you want to know what this kobold rolled?
A 1?
He rolled a 1.
Yeah.
So,
Somehow.
with that 1, the sling... Let me roll a d8 real quick to see where this goes. The sling stone,
Hit
as
him in his face.
as he's spinning it up, the sling stone boom, clatters back into the hallway behind him as he rears to let go. And you just hear a tch, 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 tch. and the little flap he's holding goes limp, and he's just
No.
looking at it like, oh.
Oh.
Aw.
All right, this kobold, realizing his importance, is going to step up over here, and looking at Bram, looking at Elin, looking at Bram, looking at Elin. Ha! He thrusts at Dave. 19 against your AC, Dave.
I think I'm pretty sure that hits.
Oh shit!
Yeah, that hits.
6 points of piercing damage.
All right, I'm almost dead again, guys. Okay.
How much health are you at?
Was it 5? 5, right? 4?
I guess it's. What was the first number?
10 minus 6.
That's 4.
All right, there we go.
All right, it's the next kobold's turn, and seeing his teammate has positioned himself perfectly, he. All right, Slingstone going at Elin. Roll the 3. Another Slingstone just clatters across the wall. Elin, it looks like your luck is just barely holding up in this dungeon.
That is the menace you guys ain't.
All right, this goblin back over here sees his friend getting basically stepped on by Zali, backs up and notches an arrow to fire. I take it a 9 doesn't hit. He doesn't do anything for the rest of his turn. The arrow plinks off of your... You have chainmail or leather?
A leather.
Okay, then it grazes your shoulder.
Okay. Can I grab the arrow?
No, you're no monk. Elin, it's your turn.
Oh my!
That's it. Well, you see. Oh, I opened up the wrong.
Burn him!
I'm going to
What?
Seduce
the
him.
throat. 'Cause I have daggers.
Okay, Elin, you draw a dagger and you
For
stab.
the groin. In the groin.
I stab.
Do a bad thing to me.
Stab, stab, stab.
Stab.
10.
That
Feelings.
doesn't.
You have
That
no feelings.
doesn't hit. You go to stab and he. You go to stab and he jumps back just in time to avoid the attack.
Well, I swear.
This is a weird fight. And we're already 11:15. I didn't know it was gonna.
All good.
Yeah.
Can I give
This is
them
the
a
worst fight ever.
We're all
Not even as a bonus action, I'm afraid. Arthur's turn. Arthur's looking around at the state of things. He's like, what the hell kind of chicken shit fight did this turn into? He's gonna...
Okay.
He looks...
He looks to his left. He sees Bob on a fucking shelf. Looks to his right. Sees Zali fighting a goblin with a confused dragon behind him. Looks behind and sees Dave and Elin facing off against a
I
kobold
can't
with
tell what's Moss and what's a goblin.
Alright, does that have a range of... Alright, he points at this goblin that you're in front of, Zali, realizing what you're doing, and he starts saying something in... Mordecai, do you know Elvish?
You can roll a negative side.
Okay, Elin, you hear Arthur say some... Yeah, Elin. You hear Arthur say something in Elvish that starts with, "Hey you, greenskin," and he goes off on this musical litany of curses that makes you blush. And, and he casts Vicious Mockery.
Your mom gay.
You mum gay. you mum gay.
The goblin fails on its will save, takes 2 points of psychic damage,
He's scarred.
and he's now at disadvantage on his next attack roll because he just heard some foul words about his mother, and not all of them are false.
He's sitting there looking at the guys. He's sitting there looking at the ground, kind of teary-eyed, but trying to hide it.
He's like, my mom's gay.
You took 2 points of emotional damage.
What was it?
Arthur just cast Vicious Mockery. Mordecai.
I love that spell.
As it.
Yeah.
One of the interpretations of Vicious Mockery could just be this: whoever the hell cast it just pulled out like the equivalent to 50 Shades of Grey, just reading a page.
That's awesome. But no, Arthur said
like-
more or less said something to the effect of, "Your mother's not a saint. She ain't even a priest." Something like that.
No, he's gonna wrap it in sick. He's like, your mother is not a saint. She's not even a.
Alright, guys. It's like your mama's dexterity is so low.
All right, don't hurt yourself trying. Mordecai, it's your turn. You just heard Arthur. You just heard Arthur go off on a.
Huge. Right.
Shit.
Sorry.
Mordecai, you just heard Arthur go off on a sick riff in Elvish, and you didn't understand the words, but from the look on the goblin's face, you appreciate the value.
I'm back. You're like, yeah, you go.
Your mom gay.
Tell him.
All right. None of my spells are gonna, or well, I guess they could be, but these are not gonna blow a fucking witch. I'm gonna throw my other knife at. 1 second. Perfect. This guy right here.
All right, roll to attack. Please, for the love of God.
16.
16. All right, that hits. Roll damage.
Hell yeah.
If history serves, you have a good.
Apple juice.
If history serves, you have a very good chance of just.
Max damage.
That's a 7. Right in between the eyes again. This goblin goes down. In fact, he kind of slams into the bookshelf, and you see it wobble, or the shelf. Not really a bookshelf. This was a cellar, and you see it wobble for a moment, and he falls into this pit over here. Just oh, Wilhelm scream.
Actually, if I hadn't
Your mother.
if I had command instead of charm, I would have like tried to order this one to like jump in the hole or like just come give me a hug or something, so that he'd fall into one of these holes.
That'd have been great.
You charm him and you go, and you go high five. Sure, just come closer. Okay, a little bit closer, a little bit closer.
That
Yeah.
I wish that's how command
I like
worked.
the idea of like charm person, give me a hug, but it doesn't work. He'd have advantage on the wizard, anyways.
All right, Mordecai, you can still move. Oh, by the way, you're temp HP.
Yeah,
I already got it.
pops off again. Thanks, man. And I saw a movement, so I'm gonna head to the back and give a hand with the larger threat group.
No, we're doing great. We're doing fine.
3.
We're having fun back here.
Oh,
We just having a little dance
1,
off.
2, 3.
How many daggers have you used, actually?
Both of them. Actually, they're both still in this room with me, so I kind of feel the need to retrieve them.
I think one of them's in a corpse right next to you, so you can use a bonus action to do that.
Didn't I kill the one I threw the knife at, like, somewhere over here?
All I know is that there are 3 or 4 dead kobolds in here, and
you're a kobold.
which one was it that you
That's
killed?
just rude.
If I recall correctly,
This guy was shot by Zali. This guy was.
He died of cardiac arrest.
Wasn't he the one that was stabbed? Someone got
Wait,
stabbed.
wait.
Yeah,
I think
stabbed.
I killed 2 kobolds. I don't know.
Chip stabbed.
There's one that was. Yeah, actually, I think I killed this one because
You
I
killed
did
it.
one and I tried to
Zali-
kill the other one.
Yeah, Zali's standing.
Move aside.
Zali's standing on the one that's got one of your daggers in him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay.
I think, or something along those lines.
So he's like, why does this feel? Why does my?
All right. Well, there's
For the
there's
purposes
a
of
goblin right there.
for the
There's
purposes,
no-
yeah.
There's really no time for this. I'm just gonna grab my. I'm just gonna pull my head up here
Okay.
to back them up.
Arthur sees you run past him and goes, "What the hell are you?"
I was like,
And he looks back at the room with the 2. Well, there's only one goblin. He looks back and he realizes that there's only one goblin there and goes, "Oh, yeah, all right, that's good." Dave, it's your turn.
Having a dance off.
all right.
Dance,
Dave.
dance.
So Dave used the wand of fire bolt, whatever the fuck, and and uses it to cast fire on the kobold across from him, and aims specifically at the crotch.
Okay. How many charges are you using? Because you can use more than one.
I'm gonna use 2.
Okay.
To be sure.
All right. The way this works, roll a spellcasting attack with your.
How do you do that?
It's your spellcasting ability modifier plus your proficiency modifier. So I think for you it's +6.
How do I check that?
It should say on your spell list the attack modifier.
So D20 plus 6?
Something like that, yeah.
D20 plus 6, here we go. 18.
That hits. Okay, the way cantrips work is that as you gain caster levels, at certain points, cantrips just automatically, because you can't spend higher level spell slots on them, but as you become a stronger caster, their effects basically get better with levels. When you use more than one charge when using a cantrip wand like this, that is automatically applied. So you roll 2d10 fire damage instead of 1d10.
Alright, so to do that, 2d10?
2d10 fire damage.
Alright, 2d10.
In fact, let me make sure that it's... Let me just make sure that that's... hang on. That's actually what this... That there's no modifiers to it.
If you have red skin, it's extra spicy.
Fire bolt. Yeah, it takes 1d10 damage. All right, mark down on the wand that you've got 4 charges left on it, and yeah, you deal 2d10. How much did you? Oh.
Yeah.
So Dave, you have the satisfaction of knowing that Elin's not the only one who can incinerate people. Because you just.
What happens? Dave basically goes, abracadabra, Alka, you're fucked.
There you go.
Where's your British accent? Killa, where's your British accent? How dare you?
Abracadabra, Alka, you're fucked.
And fire just spills out between you, Bram and Elin, as Dave points the wand, and the kobold, it's almost like watching a time-lapse of acid and, like, speed it up. He's just burnt down to bleach bones in an instant. Just... and just falls to the ground.
Starting with his deck. So how the fuck do I, how do I know? How do I know the thing?
How do you what?
The charges. How do I do that? How do I like? Know
they were just on your spell, like in your magic item section where it describes it. Just mark down in an area like 4/7, so 4 out of 7 charges left on it.
What the fuck is that?
It should be in your magic items area.
You mean the same place where the headband of intellect is that, or like what?
That should be where it is, yeah.
Okay, so like underneath that, it should be that, right?
Yes.
Okay. What was it called again? Fire what?
Wand of Firebolt.